there was one dilution, so it's like 0.7% left. Do the math. At a $15 million exit.
Yep. Okay, but
I'll take it.
Okay, so I'm going to break this up here. So, most of the angels that I know are not like, I mean, they're not professional, they're like hobbyists, right? They take some tiny piece of their net worth and they say, I'm going to invest in companies because it's kind of cool, right? And a lot of them, we call these restaurant deals. It's like you invest in a restaurant. You don't invest in a restaurant to make money. You invest in a restaurant to walk into the restaurant with your friends and go, I invested in this restaurant. The chef comes out to your table.
If you invest in 40 restaurants,
your guests think,
the super angels gagging up on the angel. Let's just have to go after those two guys. They're going to be defending him. I want to ask a question. Actually, two questions to the audience. I need you to applaud or yell or something. Questions are, is it a bubble or not? So let's start with the first one. Are we entering a new bubble? Let's hear it. Oh, the VCs are going to win this one. Are we not entering a bubble? Let's hear it. You guys are pathetic. Okay. Let's go on to another topic. Here's the super angels and the angels have been funding a lot of consumer internet deals. It's maybe an overinvested category. So my question is it overinvested? And if so, what's going to be the next thing that'll capture the hearts and minds of the founders and the entrepreneurs? Tomas, you're the angel.
Is it overinvested? I mean, you know, the people are attracted to consumer plays, right? It's something you can show, it's exciting, you can look what I did, Instagram, I can take a picture, you know. The problem with consumer plays is that you have a breakout of 1 in 10. You know, there are 10 companies that let you take a picture and send to your friends, and there's Instagram, the breakout success.
I think it's a 1 in 100.
Yeah. A 1 in 100, thank you, yes. 1
in 10 to the second power.
Yes. So I think, you know, from an angel perspective, it's quite attractive. It is the restaurant, right? I invested in, you know, Instagram just because it happened today. Okay. I didn't, but because it was on TechCrunch today, which is, you know, all we read. And so it is more like the restaurant. You know, I've invested in it. I think you know, good investors, good angels, good super angels, good VCs diversify widely and broadly, and don't look at this one category. If you like, you know, the iPhone picture category, you'll invest in multiple ones, or even better, invest in, you know, 40 or more.
That was a sideways slam, you know.
I think we have a fundamental challenge in the industry right now. That is, there are very few companies that actually are big returners, very few companies that really go. And as a result, what happens is everybody in the industry says, I got to get on that rocket ship. I got to get on the rocket ship. Which one's the next rocket ship? I don't know, but this one looks like it could be. So people are just jumping on stuff. And so it's heavily invested. Is it overinvested? The valuations and the frenzy in the market feels like there's too much money going after these companies, and there's too many feature companies that are parading around as possibly big companies. So I'm very concerned about the dynamics of this idea of I want to get on the next Facebook.
Yeah.
And because when Facebook was formed, you couldn't tell it was going to be Facebook. So therefore it justifies any company might be the next Facebook. So it's kind of crazy. But I'm going to switch around and say there's a lot of other things to invest in and places to start companies. Okay, I love consumer. I've been doing consumer my entire life. One of the few people
right, your whole firm is consumer. You started a firm to do consumer when people thought consumer was dead. You get total credit.
Yeah, so, and that is true. And I come out of a consumer products background. I love it. But there's also stuff happening in the enterprise. There's stuff happening across technology that is really exciting. Some of our most exciting companies now are software service companies that are turning the enterprise upside down, basically bringing consumer applications into the corporate world. So I just want to broaden everybody's mind that it's not just about the next thing on your iPhone, it's not just the next thing that you talk to your friends about. But there's some really big fundamental trends going on that we're pretty psyched about.
That's great. David?
What he said.
I invested in a freaking limo company, so.
If you got a restaurant deal, he's your man. Come to him. We'll do it. So let me ask one final question. We're almost out of time here. One thing I worry about watching this bubblet or this little phenomenon of the super angels and super deals What happens to core technology deals? Are they going to fall to the floor, or who's going to fund those deals? What have you guys been saying?
They are not falling to the floor. The consumer web world thinks it's all about just the consumer web, but there's a lot of capital, a lot of really strong trends around core technology. Because think about it, all the stuff we're doing with technology needs more support, needs more infrastructure. So there's a lot of capital out there for the core tech companies. There's a lot of them doing extremely well. And the software sector is doing extremely well. How many of you know Salesforce.com is worth $18 billion? Right? There's SuccessFactors is worth $2 billion. Okay, those are just software companies. So I'm just saying there's a lot of value out there in core technology, and there's capital and people ready to invest in it.
David, you're still investing in core technology deals?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, I funded a company called Splunk, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, and it seemed like an interesting idea, this software engine that would allow you to search your data centers log files, and it's become this big platform and making a ton of money, and because big data is really important. Like figuring out what's happening in your infrastructure is hugely important. It makes it more efficient, it makes it safer, it makes it more secure, it makes, all these things. And so so absolutely, I think what's interesting is that you can make consumer applications more inexpensively. You can build infrastructure more inexpensively. So I think all of that stuff is increasingly interesting to super angels, the venture world as well. The only thing that I think is at risk, and I don't know how to solve the problem, is that chips are just prohibitively expensive to build. And so while there was a robust economy and kind of new microprocessor companies, I think that's a really tough space, and I don't, we need innovation in the microprocessor space, but I'm not sure that it's going to come out of Sand Hill Road anymore, and I think that's a problem, frankly, for the world economy. But I guess if it gets enough out of whack, then there'll be massive value in the ones that work, and we'll start investing again.
So Rob, I think we brought you Cassandra was trying to spin out of Facebook a couple of years ago. You guys turned. I'm just wondering, are you guys funding core technology deals, or what are you seeing Super Angels do?
Here's the great thing about core technology deals is, so we see all these deals that are like, look, I've got a button. And it's like, well, can't anybody make that button? And it's like, yeah, but we're going to make it better, and then we're going to run faster, or we're going to raise more money, and we're going to take over the world with our button. I'm like, well, anybody can take over the world with that button, right? And you can build that button. And so the great thing about core technology companies is like, guess what? No one else can build this. We're the only people that can build this. And so they get to kind of take their time. They get to understand the market. They get to build a business without everybody else breathing down their neck and every other fund down, up and down Sand Hill Road investing in the next competitor, because they've got something unique, and if you believe in it and you stick with it, these companies are going to build massive businesses.
So is your answer yes? You would fund it?
No. Rob sits on the board of a fundamental piece of technology around big data and genomics, right? I mean, it doesn't get more fundamental and core than that. So I think that there are lots of interesting businesses that are being built, and we're seeing the super angels, putting the first money in.
That's great.
Let me just comment, because it's I think there's not enough core technology being built. I think there's way too much buttons being built today. And when I see a lot of the companies I see have interesting ideas, strong engineers, but at the end of the day, it's a marketing challenge more so than anything else. So anytime there is money, and anytime super angels and angels fund and give people a longer runway, and one of the fundamental problems, and guilty as charged, is that people have 2 months to build a demo and then go out to raise angel rounds and go on. So no one really spends the time to build core technologies. The only core technologies I see today is PhDs from Stockholm and Holland and Russia trying to get introductions here. And because people that are here, they're already at Google, they raise money after 2 weeks, in 2 months, or before they even start. So absolutely, give them more time, give them money early, a little bit to build something for 6 months, 12 months. And I think any angel, super angel, is very happy to fund core technology with strong engineering.
That's great. So we've gotten the hook. I want to thank you for doing this panel late at night. Can we give them all a big hand?
Thanks for doing a great job. Don't forget, you guys, you get cannonball wine.
Nice.
Arizona Bay, so it's over there. But I thought they did a great job for our inaugural panel. What do you think about having this panel after all VatorSplashes at 9:30 at night?